The Wii is regarded by many to be the world's greatest family console, by selling 101 million units worldwide. The Wii revolutionized the way we interact with games by implementing its physical movement capabilities used with the remote. You could experience games in no other, making Xbox's Kinect look like last generation tech. Its appeal to families and children is the reason why it sold so many units, and not to mention it had one of the best library of games with titles like Metroid Prime. Today, I'll be taking a look back at the Wii and see if you should pick one up almost 14 years later. If you guys haven't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below and also hit the bell icon so you won't miss any future videos. I'm going to be posting more of these Is It Worth It every week, and by you hitting the subscribe button, you'll be showing your support. But without further ado, let's get right into it. In the first months of the 7th generation consoles, Sony had become an industry powerhouse with it just releasing its third console, the PlayStation 3, to the market. Sony was leading the way in terms of innovation, and their rival Xbox had a lot of time to catch up and make a console that actually worked. In this time, there was one company that was innovating like no other. It was Nintendo. I know, right? Nobody expected Nintendo to innovate when coming off their somewhat failed GameCube, but in some way, they were. Nintendo, after the GameCube's poor sales, needed a console to bring them back into the gaming market. This spurred Nintendo into drawing plans for a console that would innovate on how games could be experienced. They began looking into motion controls that could be used to navigate games in no other way before. The console was known by the codename Revolution. In many ways, this console really was a revolution, as it had the intentions to appeal to a much wider demographic to prove that games can be enjoyed by everyone, not just edgy teenagers. Ads for the Wii started rolling out with the tagline, "We would like to play." Oh, yeah, okay. The ads began in November 15, 2006 and had a total budget of around 200 million for the year. They showed a wide range of people enjoying the Wii, from grandparents to young kids, as these are the people who the Wii was meant for. These ads certainly don't hold up today, but it was much easier to get a meaning out of them instead of just a crying baby and a floating PS3. On the 19th of November 2006, the Wii was just released and it was met with incredible amounts of success. I remember a younger me going with my dad to the game store to go pick up one because it had the new Super Mario Bros. And Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. These release titles would make the Wii dominate the 7th generation of consoles, and it had a focus on gameplay instead of graphics. The Wii specs include an IBM PowerPC CPU clocked at 729 MHz, 800 MB of system RAM, 512 MB of system storage, it could be upgraded to 32 gigs, an ATI graphics GPU that could be clocked at 243 MHz. These specs were mediocre compared to the other generation of oh my gosh, who's calling? These specs were mediocre compared to the other generation of consoles like Xbox and PlayStation, as it had double the speed of the GameCube, but it was designed that way. Nintendo had a philosophy on that enjoying games was a key focus instead of powerful components. If they could reach that key focus, then what's the point of having flashy graphics and powerful hardware? This idea led to Nintendo's game having a sort of charm to them. The UI of the system is easy to navigate, with all your applications being hosted in small boxes lined up for your ease of use. The application that made the Wii a great console is the Me area, where you could create your own 3D character with any facial features you wanted, and you could have them be featured in your own games of choice. Wii Sport made use of the Miis, and you could select them as your own playable character. The Wii also had online services, which was utilized in a lot of games and some applications. You had the weather channel, news channel, and some other applications to make your life somewhat easy. The Wii also had online ordering service, where you could order food to your house using your console. These applications was Nintendo's way of saying that they've caught up with the other consoles in their functionality. The Wii came standard with a Wii Remote, which was a wireless rectangle block thing that had buttons on it. This was the way you could steer your character in 3D space, and it made for some great experiences and some not so great experiences. The remote is nice and compact, and it is built well. It came with a nunchuck, which helped in a lot of games as you wanted more control over your character. The Wii could also play GameCube games, which expanded the library of the Wii to the millions. The games on the system gave you hours of fun with titles like Metroid Prime, Super Mario Bros, Smash Brawl, Wii Sport, and let's not forget Mario Kart. My two favorite games on the system were Mario Kart and the Metroid Prime trilogy. I'm sure everyone can remember Mario Kart. All the times of bringing this Wii to friends and family houses, this was the game that we always played. This was the game that everyone could enjoy, and not just for playing the objective, but for messing around and not taking the game seriously. 4-player races and battles would be so chaotic. This was the game that introduced so many to Nintendo, and this was for many their first Nintendo game. Next, we have the Metroid Prime trilogy, and boy, what a game this was. When I was younger, I adored the Metroid franchise, not for its gameplay, but for its world building and characters. Playing as a bounty hunter going around the universe searching for adventure to adventure is what made the game so fun, and you could fight your way through of waves of enemies and reach your objective. The amount of fun I had in this group of games is just astounding. Compiling all 3 of the Metroid games, it had no shortage of content. My favorite game from the trilogy was Prime 3 Corruption. I loved the beginning where you could start on Samus's ship and you can manually interact with the ship as if you were the pilot, and in the late game you could call the ship to any part of the map and travel to any location is what made the game so fun. Prime 3 had a bigger focus on characters, with it introducing other bounty hunters for you to be friends with, but ultimately in the end have to defeat. And it doesn't stop there. The music was amazing and it was done to perfection, with every piece fitting to each location you travel to. The graphics as well were amazing and still look pretty damn good for today. I highly recommend this title to anyone looking to collect for the Wii. It was amazing for me and I'm sure it would be amazing for you as well. I'm not going to sit here and tell you whether the Wii is worth it in 2020, because in a lot of perspectives it's not. The specs are mediocre for today, the games look alright, and there's no support for it with the online services shutting down just a couple of years ago. I have way superior platforms compared to the Wii, but yeah, I still hook it up and play it. You know why? Because memories and games. Honestly, I've spent the last 5 to 10 minutes explaining to you how great of a console this is. How amazing the memories have been on this console. It would not do the console justice if I just said that it was garbage compared to today. You probably could run these games on your PC, but it does not compare at all when playing them on the native console and the controller. This is the console that shaped so many childhoods. Its game selection and gameplay is what made the Wii such an amazing console. That's it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I'd like to see you all in the next one.